Yes. Before we start the Q&A session, if the speakers come back to the panel, and people that have questions, there are microphones in the back, you could line up. And I would like to take this short time to introduce to you the AI for Mental Health initiative in our department. Our goal is to build trustworthy and ethical AI that will transform psychiatry from relying primarily on subjective observations to achieving objective precision, ultimately leading to more effective and accessible research and care. As the three speakers have illustrated, this kind of transformation requires an interdisciplinary culture that brings together AI engineers, implementation scientists, clinicians, and ethicists. The initiative is designed to foster exactly this kind of collaboration. In that spirit, we equip researchers, clinicians, and patients with cutting-edge knowledge through AI-centered courses and our monthly seminar series, which you are warmly invited to join. Thank you, and now let's open the floor up for questions. Since that line is longer, I start over there.
Okay.
Thank you for the wonderful presentations. My question has to do with the ethical part of implementing these AI models. So I'm an implementation scientist by training. It's easiest, I think, to pick on Jonathan's example of, how AI can be very communicative, it can be empathetic. But the question when we are dealing with an ethical problem is we have a set of values, human values, I would call them, which we have sort of pulled together over a period of lifetime education, learning, and experiences. So when I face a very difficult decision, I have to wrestle with what are my values here? What do I owe the person whom I'm trying to help? So how do we work with these models so that we can interrogate the kind of values that the model brings to the situation beyond just superficial empathy or communication? Can we ask these models to inhibit a set of values? Is that possible? Are we along those lines? I know it's a long-winded question, but that's where I want to go.
I'll try to oversimplify and say models do not have values. They do not have ethics. They do not think. They do not know. They do not understand. They're largely autocomplete systems, and we anthropomorphize them as if they have those things. This is why ChatGPT cannot be a co-author in your paper, because it can't accept the responsibility for that in certain ways. But boy, there's a lot of simulation there. It does simulate what looks like values and empathy, and we can interrogate those. It's not just autocomplete because it's reinforcement learning by human feedback. There are a bunch of humans saying, that's a good answer, that's a bad answer. I like the way you said that, I don't like the way you said it. Now that is humans imposing their values on what is a preferable response. And who are these humans? Who are these humans? I think it's mostly low-paid wage workers in like Africa that the tech companies pay. And maybe their values aren't the same as yours and mine, and it is worth thinking about.
Yeah, I'll just add to that, we've seen certainly with these large language models, we try and put boundaries on how they can respond. But remember, the model was trained to be the most accurate and to give the most likely next sequence of words. And so it will override those safety checks. And so that's something that we're finding out more and more, that it's not just about putting boundaries on it. You really have to think about putting hard stops on how these boundaries get integrated. And I think it has to be before the model's developed, but it's a little too late for some of these large language models, right? But they override our boundaries we put on. So it's a difficult question.
It was very well said by Jonathan and Tina. I just want to add that we also have to remember that all of these models are trained on the entire scale of internet data. And every question that we ask, they've probably seen the answer somewhere in the data they were trained on. So the ethical aspects and the safety aspects, I think for those concepts, we often do not have enough, or still right now, we don't have proper benchmarks when it comes to using these models in healthcare and mental health applications. I think this is probably a call for creating benchmarks for mental health applications of these larger scale foundation models, multimodal language models. And so that's probably a next step for advancing this field. But again, all of the data was basically something that was included in their training. And I'm not surprised by seeing those answers because they were trained to say all of those things. So I'll stop here, but great question.
Okay. For the next questionnaire, can you also introduce yourself?
Certainly, thank you. Is this mic on? Yes. I'm Brandon Staglin with One Mind, a mental health nonprofit that focuses on research and innovation. I'm co-founder and chief advocacy and engagement officer for this nonprofit. I live with schizophrenia myself. John, thank you for your really enlightening talk. I've heard some information like this before, but you really put it articulated in such like vivid perspective that it really brought home the enormity of what's changing in the world so fast. So you said you didn't have answers at the end of your talk. I admire your humility. But I would love to hear speculation on what the role of humans can be in mental health care, given the rapid advance of AI, say, in 5 years. I have a thesis on this, or a theory, mainly that an important component of many mental health support models is peer support, where the support is contingent upon the shared lived experiences of the individual giving care with the patient or the client, you might say. And that's based on the knowledge that there is another human being on the other end of the relationship. And it's a mutual two-way relationship, not only a one-way relationship. So that's important, that kind of relationship. Do you see that as a continuing important way to deliver mental health care, even with the advent of AI? And are there other ways that humans can remain relevant and really helpful in care models?
I covered in some of my other talks, like, are we all going to be replaced? Like, no, we are not, although displacement is definitely going to happen as well. We should not pretend that's not going to be the case. Maybe naively, optimistically, the more technology is good, the more the humans are even more important for what the humans do. Okay. And I think that actually is true. And it's just some tasks, I'm not going to worry about that task anymore because now I can focus on things that we're uniquely good at. So I think a ton of value, this kind of peer support thing, you kind of really can't replace that. I don't think you want to replace that either, although that's also not available to everyone. So there's certain compatibility with some people to get along better. Sometimes models can be adaptable in ways and reach some people in novel ways as well. But interested in what other perspective?
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think that the replacement is always been a question that comes up. I think people who do not incorporate AI and the potential it has might be replaced, right? But I think that there is people who are really engaging and understanding how it can be beneficial, how it can help them have these difficult conversations, how it can help them, I mean, all these different ways we use it. So by saying I'm not going to use it at all, or let's just ban it, I don't think that's the right solution. I think we need to find a way to live with this and take advantage of the opportunities.
Yes, exactly. So I just totally agree with this. Maybe one quick example and quotes I can bring on is a few years back, top researchers in Google, they've done models that they've released models that outperform radiologists. And it was the conversation and some tweets that radiologists are going to be replaced by AI in a few years. But my colleague and friend, Kurt Langlotz, tweeted same time, same days. And still, I think that tweet and that quotation is valuable. And he said, radiologists are not going to be replaced by AI, but radiologists are going to be replaced by those who use AI in their work. So that's basically probably the same message, and it is true still today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, hi. My name is Trishla Alpera, and I'm an AI researcher at Fujitsu Research. So my question is in terms of how, like, if people are using chatbots to, process their thoughts and emotions, then is it delaying them to, receive the actual care? Is there a study that has been done? Because they're getting temporary fixes, but in reality, they really need to, get to the actual therapist or psychologist to get it analyzed. So that's my question. I have many questions, but I just want to put that one. And yeah, just one last thing is that what are the challenges that are seen in the industry where, like there's collaboration between AI researcher and actual medical professionals? Because as an AI researcher, for me, it's like safeguarding it that, hey, don't use this particular sentence or context. So yeah, I just wanted to, get to know more.
Maybe just answer one of the questions because there are also other people.
Well,
Go ahead.
I think Jonathan spoke very well about this, is that there is a crisis of mental health professionals right now in our country. And so it's not that you're replacing your professional with an AI bot, it's that you don't have access to a professional. And so I think that is something to keep in mind. And the next question was, that's more about,
Yeah. Why don't we go to...
Hi, thank you so much. I'm Rainey. I'm an alum from the Learning Design Technology program at Grad School of Education, and I'm currently working on AI products. Thank you so much for all the inspirational talk on both like digital twin, biometrics, and chatbot. So my question would be from the user who paid $20 to ChatGPT every month. I'm curious that, because I've already tried a lot of different mental health chatbot product, but I will always come back to ChatGPT for all the context it has, because it's based on I proactively monitoring myself. Like I have two projects. One is called Inner Camera, where I put all my self-reflection in there. And the other is called Rise and Shine, where I put all the, like my sleeping issues, my eating things inside. So I'm just wondering, what are the aspects that professional and safe mental health chatbot need to leverage to provide values that outweigh what generic large language model chatbot can provide to general users?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I actually encourage you to check out the guys who made like the Social Dilemma. I think that was like this like documentary about how like social media like kind of ruined our lives. But yeah. They did a follow-up talk because they're very worried about like AI is totally going to do that. You have developed an intimate relationship with ChatGPT at this point. It knows you better than I bet anybody in the world at this point. And you're going to have a very hard time letting that go. And by the way, ChatGPT is not a person. It's not a thing. It's a model owned by a big tech company and has all your data and knows everything about you now. So yeah, issues, useful tool, but there are implications that we are often invisible that we should be thinking about broadly.
Okay, let's go to the gentleman here on the left-hand side.
Hi, my name is Ian Wilson. I'm a nurse practitioner working over at the VA. Part of my job is to see people in the ER and basically figure out if they really want to kill themselves or not. I don't think this is a job for AI, but one thing that I found in my love for music is that harmony matters. So if an AI bot types, don't kill yourself, people aren't going to be able to relate to that. So I'm just going to give the world a little hope. But what sense do you have about music and harmony in music, or maybe even in the sense of acting? I mean, if I'm crossing my legs like you are, we're relating. AI doesn't do that yet. Does anybody want to jump on that and comment?
You're like video stuff. I mean,
Yeah, so yes, not music, but yes. Maybe I can talk a little bit about some of the examples and the work that my colleagues in the Department of Psychiatry are doing. So a few of the brain stimulation experiments that people are running in order to use that as an intervention for treating depression or anxiety or other psychiatric disorders, there has been significant and very good results in terms of using those stimulation sessions in tandem with the use of AI music, because you often need some baseline brain excitability and perception, and music has been a very good medium in this space. So that's one of the examples that comes to my mind, but there are quite a few others. We have some amazing colleagues also, I've seen some of them here, who are studying music as a tool in neuroscience and the neuroscience of music for therapies in general.
Okay, we are out of time, sadly enough. Let's thank our three amazing speakers for their wonderful talks, and thank you. Don't do this.
Okay, well, now